Hi, my name's Mal.
Hi, my name is Rosie.
Hi, my name is Adam.
Awesome, guys. So starting it off with our first question. Anybody want to start it off?
What was the question?
What is a unique interest that nobody can change your mind on, no matter what facts they present to you? Like Kobe Bryant is the greatest basketball player ever, and so on.
Mal, why don't you go first?
Alrighty. I think that, and this has nothing to do with the videos. I truly do have this in my mind. But it is a lot about education and about students with disabilities, no matter the disability. I think that that's a huge topic that I don't think anybody else can persuade me otherwise, that I think there's opportunities for every student that the educational system should really need to, like, really needs to improve and to evolve to adapt to every student that enters it, because it should be for every student and every student is different. So I think it's super important to kind of update the system, I think.
I agree with you. I kind of went way off topic. I said
No, I know I usually do go off topic.
I
Sorry.
said BMW cars.
Oh,
Yeah, because I feel like every when you want to buy a BMW, everyone's like, "No, don't buy it. It's so much like maintenance and so expensive. Insurance is high off the roof and stuff like that." I just I just think it's great. I love it. Like I don't think it's that bad of a maintenance or anything, you know? Yeah.
disagree, but I love that.
That's pretty funny. I went in a pretty niche direction. I said that this year the World Series that the better team didn't actually win. I don't think that it was even that close, but it ended up not going in the favor that I wanted to. I mean, obviously, as not the fan of a team that didn't win, kind of makes it that, but I just generally think that it was not a good series in that way.
Don't know what to say to that. I haven't seen that, so
Yeah, you're okay.
not a big all right. Well, beautiful guys. And second question, do you consider yourself a verbal or a non-verbal persuasive person? I'll start it off. I think I'm more of a verbal person. I don't know if it's kind of more, I don't think it would be, because it's so verbal, he says it's straightforward communicator, and nonverbal is more body language. I think I'm a lot more of a verbal person. I think I, quote unquote, I don't think I talk a lot, but I like I like definitely have like a lot to say, and I like to like talk to people and stuff like that. I think it's one of the better versions, I think. Like I think if obviously there's good and bads to, speaking a lot and talking a lot. But I think it's in a setting where you're meeting new people or like you're inviting a friend to gatherings and other friend groups, like bringing a person that's more of a verbal person, I think it's a lot more interesting. Or not, okay, that seems memes, but I feel like it's a lot. Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I would say what was the first?
Um, you consider yourself verbal, so straightforward kind of
Yeah,
your.
the straightforward. Yeah, I would consider myself a straightforward person, very talkative, very like, social and stuff. I don't know. I don't think I would work with like nonverbal, like body language. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know what it means to be like a more body language person. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either, to be honest. I'm trying to like think about what he would mean by that, and maybe it's like the way like if you are talking to someone, like you might not be dominating the conversation, but you're like holding really good eye contact, you're like really facing them or something, where it's like you might be like getting your point across with less words, but more of like it's more intense, I would feel. But I still think I'm much more of a verbal, straightforward communicator. I think that I kind of just end up rambling on and don't really even, by the end of it, don't even know what I'm talking about, but still try to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. So I think that it helps with persuading, but I think it also does not help with persuading because I may have persuaded myself out of what I was trying to persuade them into, which has happened a couple times, and that's a little awkward. So, yeah.
Awesome, guys. Third question. Do you consider yourself easily persuaded by public, family, or friends? Um, I'll start it off, I guess, again, because we're in a rotation. I think I'm definitely a person that's very easily persuaded. I think that can totally be a negative, though. I think there's a lot of people that can be influenced too much, especially if your surroundings are negative or kind of persuade you into the wrong things. I consider like my family, my friends, the positive people and kind of good people to be around. So if I do get persuaded, it's kind of in the right direction. But I do think I definitely get persuaded a little too much in certain settings where I don't really think of my own way and I just think of how the other person might want me to go towards. So, but
No, yeah, I agree with you. I think I would say I'm easily influenced by family and friends as well, and I do see that as a positive thing. And I really agree with you on you'd be like going towards what the other people want and like not what you want.
mhm,
I think it's like a mind trick, like it's tricky.
yeah,
Yeah, I would say sometimes I could be like that too.
agreed.
I think I'm easily persuaded, but I also think like maybe in the moment I'll be persuaded, but then like going back into like if I think about it later, I might be like, no, like they're still wrong. Like I might think about it later, and I don't know if I've been like fully like they've changed my mind or something, or I've been like that. But I think in the moment, I think that sometimes I can be like, oh, like I don't even know what I'm talking about, but sure, I'll think about what you were saying or something like that, and then I'll think about it later. I'm like, wait, what you said doesn't even make sense. So like, I think sometimes it's like I'll be persuaded in the moment, and then it might switch up like a couple days or couple hours. It doesn't really matter, but might be like down the road, it might be I'm not I don't agree with you still, so but I think that definitely in the moment it's very easy to persuade me. You just gotta throw like just a couple of things that make sense and I'm probably like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yep.
We're agreeing on all these except for the BMW. Video one. Do you disagree or agree with the video one persuasive? Um, and why? I was talking about this before you got on, Rosie, but I really liked the video, even if I feel like everybody's like apparently seen it before. Um, I think like it's funny because I was watching the video and it totally correlates to my essay for this class. So it was completely in the direction that my essay was going and my persuasive essay. But I completely agree. And I'll also answer the second one because it's related. It's the second question is, did video one represent your K to 12 or your college experience? I think it totally represented my kindergarten to 12th grade. So kind of just made it look education, especially about, I like the references that he was talking about, which are like easy for kids to understand, but also us in perspective of like when he was talking about the fish, like a fish obviously can't climb a tree, and like that's easy for a kid to understand. So I feel like the video like completely made sense for the topic he was talking about and for his audience. And I think that it was completely the direction I wanted to go towards. That the educational system really needs to be changed. And it's a big issue. And I think that society wants everything else to change. And I think that education is the one thing that hasn't evolved at all. So I think it's a very important topic.
Are you gonna add any of that stuff into your like speech? Like, are you gonna reference this video or are you gonna like kind of just
AB, but I already wrote the essay, so
Well, I mean, I don't
I
know.
could change it for like the speech, but I definitely will when I do talk and present it. But
Yeah,
it totally is a one that I would recommend to people and I would talk about in my essay.
fire.
Yeah.
I said I agree with it 100%. I think it's very easy to understand, like you said, and very relatable. I like that he had a lot of like some like evidence to go with it. So he has something to back him up on what he's saying.
Hmm.
And I really like the fact that you said like he's using easy words to even have little ones try like understand what he's talking about, which comes in clutch for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and for the second question, I said it definitely does represent my K to 12 experience. Uh, Watching the video like made me look back at it and realize like that it really is true and like it's a real thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it, like made me think about it more, even though I didn't really think about it as much until I watched the video.
Totally.
Um, yeah, I think it's pretty hard to disagree with the video, at least the first one, because it's kind of like, I mean, obviously, like he pointed out with all the pictures and stuff of talking about how things today versus things 100 years ago, and how it's like you expect that the kids from 150 years ago to sit in the classroom and listen and do this and then go to the factory. That made sense. Now it's like people that are going to factories, I mean, I don't know, I'm just gonna like maybe guess that most of them don't go through a full college experience and a full college education to go work in a factory line. So it's like now these people that are going through school are going through to get degrees to do different things than just work in a factory. So setting them up in a situation where it's in the same thing as 100 years ago, where people had much different motives and much different like dreams and stuff to do, that I think now with us still being with the standardized testing and basically like to get into college, you need to have A's, you need to have B's, you need to be doing the SAT, the ACT, and it's kind of like your entire like future is based off on about three numbers,
Hmm.
like your high school GPA, your SAT, or your ACT. And it's kind of like other things might come into play to help you, but it's like the fact that those three numbers can help determine people's futures are kind of crazy. And then I think that he is definitely pointing that out of being like, that doesn't make sense because especially like people, how you talk about disabilities, how I have ADHD myself and I completely struggled through beginning of high school because I had online for high school like over COVID and that was really, really hard because the teachers weren't helpful. No one was really knowing what to do. And it was kind of like, you got to figure it out on your own. And it was like, this is all new and no one knows what they're doing and they're not doing great jobs. And it's really hard to teach yourself a lot anyway. And you're also like, oh, I don't really want to do it because you're in high school. So I think that the perspective he had on that video was very right. And it's kind of, it just made a lot of sense to me. And I mean, I've seen that video before, so it was kind of nice to get a refresher. But I do think the video definitely represented my kindergarten through 12th grade experience just because, as I said, like I have ADHD and I wasn't diagnosed until freshman year. So it was like growing up, like kindergarten through like 8th grade, I kind of felt like I wasn't like my grades never really represented how like I felt in the classes. It'd be like I'd be like 80%, I'd get this thing, but I'd have like one like I'd went too fast on something and misread a number or something, but it was like I still had the formula correct and everything correct, but I just moved too fast through like the math equation, for example, and then I'd get the question wrong, but I had everything else right. I just wrote the wrong number down. So it was like it would be like I understood what I was doing, but I was just doing the wrong equation, and then I'd get the question wrong, so I'd do worse on stuff, even though I still got the concept of everything I was doing. And it ended up not helping me in that aspect, but I think that was just the one thing where they couldn't see that I was obviously getting the material, but I just wasn't doing the right thing at the moment.
Agreed. Especially with the standardized test. It was funny how he was talking about the person that invented it later on said, like, quoted, like, this should not be used and this should be, like, banned, which is funny because nobody, like, I'd never heard about, like, I never knew that. And I think that that's so interesting that that's still, even possible to judge and kind of determine a kid's future based on materials that not every single student will be successful in. So totally understand that. On to the next one. Same kind of first question is, do you disagree or agree? And then explain. And then based on the video, based in the video two, where would you start your race in life? So I agree. It's funny because that's like the sound of the video has been used before. I think it's a popular sound. So it's funny that, I've never seen the video, but I've heard the sound, so it's funny to see it. And kind of the entire point of the race idea. And I think it's a really good video where, in the start, you kind of get kids pumped and excited, and then you see all these like kids being pumped while they keep stepping forward, until the, coach or the guy talking, he tells them to turn around and see the number of people that have been left kind of in behind. And then the idea that like you all still have to race is also, I think, the moral of like the entire point of the video is that everybody will start off at a different point in life, and you kind of have to determine like how fast you're gonna go. Because I feel like I don't think he explained it much, but like people in the back like can be really like, what's the point? Because I'm not gonna win the race anyways. So at that point, I don't know why I should run as fast as I can if I know that I'm gonna be behind so many other people. But we can see that there's a lot of people in the back that are like pushing super hard to still win the race, even if they think they're not going to, they still think that they're going, like they still like push to win it. And I think that's the moral of this. Like the moral is that no matter where you start in your race, like doesn't matter. You always have to run as fast as you can, to get the best chance that you can get with the opportunities that you've been given. So, yeah. And for the second question, I've definitely been really lucky and really fortunate with what I've had in my life. Obviously, I take that, and I have been always extremely grateful for what my family and my parents have given me. And I think that has also given me also a very big range of understanding other people's experiences. I see my friends, I see other classmates, and I feel like my parents have also taught me that it's not just about what you've been given, but it's also about taking that, opportunity and being able to look at it through open eyes and not to be, closed off to, oh, well, I got this and the other person didn't. Well, it doesn't matter because I got it. You know what I mean? I think I've also experienced a lot of stuff in different cultures and countries, which has been absolutely amazing for me because it's opened my eyes to not only just the people in my own life, like high school and middle school, but also people like outside the country that have a completely different life, and that, a person that's fortunate in a different country can also be extremely unfortunate in another country. So it just depends on where you are and what you do with the opportunities that you've been given. So I think it's fun. I like this video. So yeah.
For me, for the do you agree or disagree with a video two perspective, I agree with it. I would like it more if there was no race. Like I like the race because like you said, it gives you the whole idea of it doesn't matter if you're way behind others, just because you have less opportunity, like less given to you, you should still try and get there. I really liked it. I like the concept of it. It opens eyes to like everyone to see that not everyone is on the like that have the same opportunities as them or same lifestyle, same everything. Um, I've definitely felt like when you said like if you're all the way behind, then why run? Like I'm already behind. I've definitely felt like that somewhat. And then in the video when he said just because you're all the way behind, like doesn't mean you're not gonna win the race. It kind of like hit that motivation button or whatever
Hmm.
to like, keep trying and stuff. So definitely like hit a spot where it's like, like, yeah. And then based on the question video two, where would you start? Um, wait, did we answer that or are we answering
Yeah,
that?
I answered it super fast, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would say, I don't really remember all his questions, but I'll probably say I was lucky enough to like, or fortunate enough, like you said, to have my mom like work hard and like put me in a private education, thank God. But yeah, that's
I
Awesome.
was gonna ask, are you gonna use this video and like, would you try to use this video too in your final speech, or would you like this wouldn't really correlate with that? Because like these are all students, so it's kind of like, would any of this help or hinder the education? Because like, could it play off the other video? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I totally would in certain, because I think this is a classroom that's doing it and the professor is the one that's talking. So I think it's totally like relevant to students. It isn't, like educational system necessarily. It's just a student's life, but I think it's like super like important to also consider not only like, mental disabilities or like educational disabilities and things like that, but also like students that like have a completely different life. Like he said, like every student or every kid is gonna be has a different brain, has a different personality, and again has a different life. So it's important to consider that in your education, the homework load, and testing and stuff like that. So I think that's also really important to consider people's school outside or life outside school.
Yeah. I mean, me watching the video, for some reason, I have a weird memory that I feel like in high school, I did a very similar thing. I think there was like a week where we actually watched this video and we like kind of participated in the same way with a little bit of different questions in like small groups, and we ended up talking about some stuff. So I think that it's a very good thing to do because it really like opens your eyes to like, you could be in California and then you could have someone that's still at the start line and it's like California is like, oh my God, like I live in California. And there might be someone who's still like at the start line, or it's like people that like are in areas where it's like you feel like, wow, everyone's gotta be really fortunate to be here. And it's like you could be very fortunate to be in a place, but it doesn't mean that you are in the same fortunate spot as somebody else. So I think it's a very eye-opening thing to like for all those people to see. Like I think it kind of panned around where some people are looking around and it was kind of like, wow, like there's a lot of people that are with me or there's a lot of people that are not with me. And it's kind of like, it's an experience. I think it was one of those things where it's like really, it opens your eyes to seeing how everyone is around you and kind of makes you realize how either fortunate you are or how fortunate an area you can be in, like where you are. So, and I would probably start the race pretty high up. I've been very fortunate in my life to have a lot of things that have been very easily obtained for me and things that have been given to me. So I think I would start the very race pretty high up, and I'm very fortunate for that.
Awesome. Love that. For the last question, it's a combination question, or last question about the videos. If you were to persuade your family friend, or a friend or family member or loved one to watch one of these videos, which video would you choose and explain why? Um, the other one. Um, I think I would definitely, like kind of persuade, or I guess persuade. I think it'd be pretty easy to show this to friends and family. It'd be the first video, which I actually already did. Sent it to my family group chat. But I think I definitely do that just because, I think that the second video is a really important one, but I think that my family members and my friends have also like been very open to it. I think that number one, the sound is pretty popular, so I feel like they would probably already know about it. But I think it's also because especially my family members, my sisters and my parents, are definitely they're definitely more attached to that like topic. They know a lot about it. And the first one is like one that like we're all like in my family. I'm the only one with dyslexia, and my parents are thinking about being tested for it and stuff like that. So it's like more information that I think would be super interesting to learn more about. And I think it's something that you can actually change. The experiences of people can be learned through, understanding how people are going through, but not like, and the educational system can actually change. You know what I mean? Like people's experiences and livelihood can't change, but can be understood. And the other one can be changed. Anyways, continue.
We have like 9 minutes left in the Zoom.
I know. That's what I realized. Do you guys want to finish this question? Then we can just like stop it and then
Start a new one.
start a new one
What
for the
are,
last.
what are the questions after this?
It's
It's
the
just
personal.
first.
Oh wow, I didn't see these ones. Oh okay, wow, we have a lot more to go. Okay, I thought
Wait,
we
is
were way
it?
ahead of schedule, and I was like, oh my God, we're gonna be.
You're gonna have to do it again. Wait, is this like 30 minutes or 40 minutes on this one?
We have 8 minutes and 40 seconds left right now.
No, like the entire video, I think, is 30 minutes.
Oh, the entire video is like 30-something minutes.
Okay, should we finish it off like real quick? Okay, I said I would probably have my friends and family watch the first video as well because they're I feel like old generation, it's very hard to convince them otherwise or show that the system is not good. And maybe that video would be really easy for them to like understand and somewhat get an idea that it's not as good as they think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I would also show I mean, my mom actually has sent me that first video, so like a while ago. So that was one of the first things that like I saw when my mom was trying to figure out what was going on with me. Um, I think like it's a very good video to show people. It really opens up, I think, people's eyes to like be like, wow, like we have really been using the same way of learning since people have really been learning. And I mean, it's worked pretty well in some aspect. Like it seems like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's also, it doesn't work for everybody. And obviously we see that much more nowadays of how, especially after even COVID, where it's like people just learn better online or they don't learn well online. It's like, don't do what you're not good at, but it's also K through 12. You don't really have a say over what you do. So I think being able to have I think those years are very important to be like helping people figure out the best way for them to learn. Because growing up, I hated learning because I just hated the way I was taught to learn. So I think if I was able to fall in love with the way of I like learning, then I think it would have been better off in the long run to like realize the way to learn is easier and beneficial instead of it's really hard and I feel like I'm not learning anything. So,
Totally agree. Also, it's a minimum of 45 minutes. I don't think we did 45 minutes.
well, we have more
have
questions
to do
to
another
answer.
part.
Okay, should we start doing the class feedback on this, or should we
Should we what?
do like the next questions now and finish them in 6 minutes, but it might be under 45 minutes, or should we do another video for the last couple questions?
I say we do another video because it's not gonna be 45.
I think we'll talk more than 6 minutes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.